Okay, I'd like to call to order the Concord Township Council regular meeting for February, Tuesday, February 3rd. If we could all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Justice for all. Recognition and announcements. We have in the minutes, you will see them. February 5th is a Park and Rec Board meeting. February 7th is a Historical Society is doing a Harriet Tubman reenactment, 4 p.m. at the Community Center. February 11th, Historical Commission. February 16th, Township office is closed for the holiday. February 17th will be the Planning Commission, which is a Tuesday since the holiday was a Monday. February 18th, Zoning Hearing Board, and February 24th, Council Agenda Meeting as needed. If there are any changes to any of those hearings, would be posted on the website. Sometimes for lack of business, they will sometimes cancel their meetings. Going on to the reports, Public Safety, Vanita.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, everybody. We have a very short report today. Please be advised that the report is limited due to the federally mandated reporting structure of fire departments throughout the country that changed on January 1st. Until the new program is fully rolled out, we won't be able to provide fire department analytics. But in short, what we have today, there was an incident with vehicle versus a building incident where an attended vehicle on a residential driveway on Bigwood Drive drifted into an adjoining property, striking the residential gas meter for that property, resulting in a natural gas leak. It was taken care of. Based on the Pennsylvania State report, we had a few motor vehicle accidents in our township. One of them was a hit and run with no injuries. There were a few there was one with multiple injuries. Non-reportable incident was also reported. There were 6 private property incidents. Now, private property does include parking lots, commercial parking lots. There was also no injuries reportable for incidents related to the motor vehicle incidents. For the tips of the month, over the last few weeks, we have had severe winter weather that have produced heavy snow and life-threatening wind chills across multiple states. 63% of temperature-related deaths are attributed to cold exposure. Some heating sometimes can cause home fires, and winter is when most home fires happen. Travel during the winter also has unique risks, especially if you are traveling by car. So remain indoors, stay off roads to keep them clear for emergency responders and township plowers to be able to plow the roads and avoid dangerous road conditions. Having said that, please be safe and keep our residents safe. Thank you.
Okay. I was remiss in saying that the council met in executive session prior to this meeting regarding litigation, so the record would reflect that. Open Space, Trails, and Recreation, Mr. Crossan is out of town, so we'll go past that. Sewer and Public Works, Mr. Gillespie.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. The Sewer Department, 3 items of note. The staff checked and maintained all pump stations 3 times a week, and they also operated and maintained both sewer plants on a daily basis. And regarding capital projects, the Act 537 plan for Cambridge Downs development off of 322 has been finalized and is ready for advertising. This project has been ongoing for some time, and it should be completed by the end of the year if there are no issues. Regarding Public Works, just the one item, we all know what that is, SNOW. Public Works has been extremely busy this winter season, responding to 6 snow events to date. Hopefully there will be no more. Staff has worked long hours to ensure roadways always remain safe for motorists. End of report.
Okay, building and code enforcement, there were 65 total permits processed in January and 22 certificates of occupancy. Planning Commission, Larry.
Yes, Concord Township Planning Commission agenda for January. The Planning Commission meeting was held January 12th, and the public meeting was January 20th. They did have a reorg. The Planning Commission nominated Mark Elser as chairman, Ben Littell as vice chair, and Amy Capelli as secretary. Those nominations were unanimously approved by the present Planning Commission members. Plans recommended to council, we have the Gurman Adriana located at 476 Smithbridge Road, preliminary final 2-lot subdivision. I believe we see that tonight. Yep, we'll see that later tonight. And other things, Concord Acquisitions LLC, Shops at Concord project was granted an extension till March 31st, 2026 for the land development and the conditional use applications while they are still continuing to go through zoning. Capoloni minor subdivision at 104 Kirk Road, prelim final was granted an extension also till May 5th, 2026 to allow for revisions. Once again, the schedule for the month. The agenda meeting will be February 9th, and the public meeting will be held on February 17th. That's all for planning.
Thank you. Solicitor, Mr. Donahue.
Yes, sir. A few things to announce. The Garnet Valley School District deck action, which was filed a little more than a month ago, has been assigned to Judge Whalen, and there will be a status conference regarding that matter on 9:30 a.m. on February 27th. So that's February 27th, 9:30 a.m., Garnet Valley School District deck action, to which the township is a party. Penwood's status conference has also been scheduled for the month of February, and I believe that is on February the 17th, and that is Judge Eckel. Third item is that the application that's presently in front of the Zoning Hearing Board, Concord Acquisitions, and specifically as part of that proposed development is a giant supermarket. The giant supermarket or corporation is applying for a liquor license transfer. So by way of background, it's my understanding that Giant procured, or was, I should say, it's the successful bidder for a liquor license that was auctioned off by the Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board. And their rules and regulations indicate that within 6 months, they have to obtain a clearance from a township if it's an intermunicipal transfer. So there'll be a hearing on that liquor license matter here in the township building in this very room on February 24th, and that will be at 7 p.m., and that will be advertised in the paper. Also be advised that the continued zoning hearing matter for the Concord Acquisitions submission is scheduled for February 18th. Again, it's in this room at 7 o'clock. Thank you.
Township Engineer, Mr. Klein.
Nothing this evening.
Amanda, Township Manager.
Sure. I just wanted to point out two things. One, I wanted to thank our Public Works employees for the snow plowing efforts in that last really large storm, Storm Fern. I want to remind folks, snow plowing is not easy. That is not an easy job. This last storm was multiple hours, and it had hours of ice on top of snow accumulation. As you can imagine, in the middle of the night, running a plow and doing those type of things is not always easy. I'm not saying that anybody's perfect. We did get mixed, I got a lot of people who were so grateful and everything was great, and then we did get some good feedback on the other side of it, which we value. So I want to encourage folks to continue doing that. But I do want to point out that their role is to go curb to curb, essentially. So in that storm, they might have plowed down your street in one day about 3 times. So just like you were doing your driveway over and over, sometimes your driveways get plowed in when they're coming through because they don't do your driveway apron. They do curb to curb to make sure they're clearing the street to get out. And I know that can be difficult at times, and I know sometimes folks don't understand and it can be hard, but that is their role, is to clear the street, and that's what they're doing in the most efficient manner they can. I'm not saying it's always perfect. We also have contractors who assist us because we don't have the manpower, and that's always been the more economical way to handle that. So we do have contractors who handle different routes. We try to get the same folks each time. We have contracts for several years to try to make that process better. But again, if anybody has any issues or concerns, you can always email us, and we'll make sure that we're addressing them appropriately. And thank you so much to everyone who sent us really nice messages. It really does help our crew feel good about the work that they're doing during those inclement times that are usually overtime and times outside of the normal working schedule. So anyway, I just wanted to point that out for residents. Additionally, I wanted to point out for Park and Rec, since we didn't have the monthly report, but I did want to point out that very popular right now, we have this Music with Brooke that's happening on Saturdays at our community center in the lower level. It's for children, and it's a great program. It's packed every Saturday. Also, we're in Black History Month, and we're excited about that. We have a partnership right now with the Historical Society, and on Saturday, they're hosting a living history reenactment on Harriet Tubman, which will be really great and enlightening. I just actually watched something on PBS about it, and it was really interesting to hear some of the stories you didn't hear growing up about that type of history. So I encourage folks to come out. That's at 4 p.m., and it's at the community center in the lower level of the building. Also, we have a really popular senior center bingo day. So lunch bingo has really been taking off, and we've had a lot of folks. So it's at noon on February 19th. So I encourage folks to get out of your house. I know it's cold, but it's a fun moment to connect with everyone, and they have prizes and hot dogs and stuff. So it's always a great event. So I just want to point that out. That's all I have.
Thank you. Citizen comment, anyone with any comment regarding anything on the agenda tonight or any issue before the township? Yes, sir. Come on up. We'll need your name and address, please.
Good evening, Concord Township. My name is Arthur German. I reside at 212 Kirk Road, and that is directly adjacent to Brandywine Youth Club athletic fields. Over the years, we've tolerated and dealt with many issues. I wanted to make the board aware of a lighting upgrade, new lights. We're not sure what it is because we haven't received any sketch plans. I don't know if the secretary had a consultant review anything.
No,
But-
we have, as far as I'm aware, we have not seen any plans submitted to us for approval.
Well, 2 years ago, they installed some LED lights
Yeah.
to the north side,
Okay.
which lit up the trees and my yard. Other residents are concerned about the lights. I won't get into some of the issues, but at a minimum, it's not unreasonable that, residents within 100 feet are notified. And,
Now, are you saying they've added some lights just
well,
this
they're
past
planning
season?
on it. They've
Oh, they're
had
planning on it?
contractors in there. And that's the other thing. A lot of contractors come in there, I'm sure you're unaware, and they go in without permits, and some of the work's a little shoddy.
Well, I got another question for you. I got a call from somebody over there that apparently they have batting cages there,
Correct.
and they want to replace them or something, but I don't,
You
I
have the
know.
board, BYC board, they do a great job,
yeah.
and they work hard. And, we're not anti-BYC, but
No.
when you don't have review of any work that's being done there, it poses a problem.
Well,
And
oddly enough, on this one, they have asked for us to review it, but the lights have me more interested than anything else because they're lights, you're right.
Yeah, they need to maintain the ones they have. They haven't worked on them in a few years.
All right.
And,
Do you have a relationship with anyone at BYC?
Oh, I talk to them all the time.
Okay.
I have to
okay.
go over
That's why you're here.
after
I'm with
10
you.
o'clock and tell them to turn the lights out.
Yeah, okay.
Which-
Because the only thing that I'll note is, so there is nothing before me for any electrical or anything that I'm aware of. I can talk to my team and
Okay,
find
I
out for sure.
appreciate
And you
that.
could always email me, Township Manager A. Sirach at Concord Township. So you could always email me with that question if you want to email me tomorrow. And then I can just check with my team. I'll put a note for myself. But, and then I'll have your email and I could exchange with you. But the only problem that I will say with an electrical permit or like a building permit, there's no notification requirement to the neighbor for that type of a permit. Those are usually kind of normally things like you could do something at your house, but you don't have to notify your neighbor necessarily
Well,
if you're doing a certain
10
permit.
years ago, I saw a plan where they were going to double the lights.
Yeah,
Well,
we
that
remember
would
that.
be
So-
probably
I remember
different. That could require something
that was-
different, for
I think,
sure.
Joe
Because that's
Barbado,
out
Joe
there.
Barbado was involved
Correct.
with that.
Yeah.
And,
But if
the
they're
other neighbor in the
exchanging
front,
out
yeah.
certain things, I'm not sure. So I can,
We
but
don't
I don't
know,
have anything.
and that's
yeah.
why I'm here. We don't
Okay.
know
Okay.
what,
Well, I'm glad you put it
Yeah.
on our
what
radar.
the plan is.
Sure.
Okay,
But, I deal with erosion issues. I have trees falling down.
yeah,
Now you have lights, so now there's no trees to block the lights.
okay.
So it needs to be addressed, and I appreciate it.
Could you?
Yeah, could
make
you,
su-
would you mind emailing me so I have your contact information?
Absolutely.
Does that work? And then that way I can get back to you. Let me talk to my team. I'll talk to the Park and Rec Director and see if he heard anything of any plans they have over there. And then I can make sure that we
Yeah,
communicate.
a lot of times you don't know till it happens, but
That's not the best time to find out.
no. And it's
You got it.
February, and typically things, if there wasn't snow on the ground, and
Yeah,
if it was a mild winter, they may be over there now.
okay.
All right, thank
Thanks
you
for
very
letting
much.
us know.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Anyone else? Seeing none, we'll move right on in the agenda. The first, next part of our agenda has to do with the consent agenda. It would be the approval of the council public meeting minutes of January 5th. Dana, as always, we have to pay some bills this month. Would you mind handling that?
Sure, thank you, Mr. President. So our total expenditures is $889,650.68, and that consists of January payroll, which is $212,736.33, current bills, which is $429,089.17, and our sewer bills at $247,825.18.
Okay. We also have some certificates of payment and financial releases. John, would you handle them, please?
Yeah, you're going to handle item C first?
Why don't you do that one too, since it has to do with dollar signs?
Oh, okay. Okay. Yes, we have certificates for payments. One of them, the first, number one is a final payment of $45,909.56 from the Capital Reserve account to J.J. Danielle for the Township Sewer and Water Connection. And financial releases, there's four of them. First is certificate number 2, which is a final payment to Premier A2 Chad's Ford. This is extra space storage on Route 202 for $436,236.20, which is a maintenance bond that needed to be released. Second one is certificate number 3, a final to Metro Storage, which is also a maintenance bond on Route 202 for $33,594.37. The third one is certificate number 1, a final payment to Celebrate, which is at school on Baltimore Pike at $68,961.48. And the final one is certificate number 2 in the sewer and to Orchard Knoll, which is a land development along Brinton Lake Road, in the amount of $93,702.96.
Okay, and we have the 2025 year-end fund balance transfer from the sewer operating transfer to the sewer capital fund, $1 million, and also the appointment of Tom Furrow as an alternate member to the zoning hearing board, term to expire on January 2nd of 2027. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
James?
So moved?
Yeah, I'll second that, or no, I'll make the motion.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Next item is the Octorara Trail update. I guess Nate and/or Amanda are going to bring us up to speed. Looks like there's two items on
Yes.
here.
So I alluded to this at the last meeting. So there's 2 items in here that I want you all to acknowledge, and then I'm going to need approval of the McCormick-Taylor portion of that. So as I talked about last month, and as you all know, we have to design a different type of a pedestrian bridge. I've described it as Walt Whitman. I'm not very happy about it, but I have to follow the same rules as, everybody, right? So this bridge has now been classified as what they call an H20, and this is a requirement that is coming from SEPTA and then through PennDOT. So now we're building a bridge that we never anticipated to have to put in that area. And as you can imagine, all of our costs have gone up. So the first part, you have a memo from Bill outlining those changes and those costs from our original grant for design to now what the costs are. You have been approving them along the way at public meetings as we've been moving forward and as the project scope has changed. The second side of this is now, because that bridge falls into that H20 category, John Gillespie and Nate can fill you in on what that means more than I can.
I can make it very simple, yeah. H20 loading would mean not only for people walking over the bridge, it would be automobiles, maybe even a truck, maybe even a fire engine. So it's a pretty hefty bridge design.
Yes. So because of that, thanks, John. Because of that, we are being required to have a third party come in and do a bridge structural adequacy review of it. We've been given a quote from McCormick-Taylor, who is allowed by PennDOT basically, and recommended through Pannoni. They have a quote that they've included that is not to exceed $9,400 for that review.
Okay.
So I need that approved by you all.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve that expenditure to McCormick-Taylor for not to exceed $9,400? I'll make the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Next one is resolution number 16, German at 476 Smithbridge Road. Nate, you want to walk us through this real quick, and then we'll look at it?
I believe Amanda is pulling up the plan as we speak. This is a pretty straightforward, as our projects go here in the township, 2-lot subdivision. There was a few zoning hiccups along the way that they've resolved regarding lot width and lot area. So those zoning relief has been granted by the zoning hearing board. Otherwise, it's a 2-lot subdivision. Existing lot would be the front lot here. The proposed lot in the back, or the rear lot, flag lot, will have a new single-family dwelling. So it's one new lot here, and it's the lot on the back there on the plan. This is on Smithbridge Road, right by the church there that kind of fronts 322, close to the bridge.
Okay.
So if you're coming from Concord, this will be on your left-hand side just before you get to the bridge underneath 322. We've reviewed the plan along with the fire marshal. It's public water and on-lot sewage, if I have that correct. Just public water and on-site sewage. Otherwise, it's frankly very straightforward and pretty vanilla.
Okay. Take a stab at a resolution. It would be minor subdivision and land development at 476 Smithbridge Road, subject to the following conditions. Compliance with all comments contained in the Pannoni review letter dated January 9th, 2026, and all these exhibits are attached. Number 2, compliance with all comments in the fire marshal's email dated November 21st, 2025. Number 3, compliance with all comments in the HRG sewer email dated January 2nd, 2026. Number 4, compliance with all comments contained in the Delaware County Planning Commission review letter dated December 19th, 2025. Number 5, compliance with the Concord Township Zoning Hearing Board decisions and orders dated April 18th and June 2nd, 2025, and each of the conditions set forth within, and that is also attached. Number 6, submission to the township of all required permits and external approvals, including but not limited to PennDOT Highway Occupancy Permit, Delaware County On-Light Sewage Permit, Pennsylvania DEP Sewage Planning Module exemption prior to the issuance of any building permits. Number 7, plans are to be submitted in electronic format acceptable to the township engineer. Number 8, landscaping must be maintained per the recorded plan and replaced in kind as needed. Any substitutions are subject to approval of the township. Number 9, an executed operation and maintenance agreement, as well as a contribution to the Municipal Stormwater Control and BMP Operation and Maintenance Fund is required in the amount of $4,771. Number 10, all deeds for the properties, legal descriptions, easements, driveway easements, and stormwater maintenance agreements are to be submitted for review and approval by the township engineer and the township solicitor prior to the release of the signed plans. Number 11, signed, sealed surveyor certification of placement of monuments and pins must be with the township prior to recording of the signed plan. Number 12, submission to the township of the required will serve letter signed by an officer of the company indicating their ability and willingness to provide the proposed public water connection. And number 13, the deed for Lot 2 shall indicate that no further subdivision is prohibited. Do you have a motion to approve this resolution? Wait a minute.
So moved.
That further subdivisions. you
That
said.
further subdivision. Okay. Thank you, Nate. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Are the
Aye.
conditions acceptable to the applicant? Are you the owners? Good. You have the little baby just here? Yes. God bless you. Enjoy, I'm glad to have you in Concord Township. Thank you. You got it. All right, resolution number 17 of 2026. See, we go from welcoming a neighbor to having to deal with PennDOT. You talk about two extremes.
That's the better stuff.
Well, 17, 2026, agreement for PennDOT inspection of the Smith Bridge Roundabout project. So this has a convoluted PennDOT history too, right?
Yes, so this is another grant that is the bane of my existence. So this has to do with the Smith Bridge roundabout project, and PennDOT is requiring us to do this paperwork because the requirement is that for the physical construction of the roundabout, we have to use one of their third-party approved inspectors. So they've had us fill out this form and resolution notifying that we will do so as part of the grant project. This was handed down to us by the grantor that needed to be satisfied. So that is a requirement of the grant project. So
Okay.
we'll need that approved as well.
All right, do we have a motion to approve resolution 17 of 2026?
I so moved.
Do we have a second?
I second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Next, I guess I'm going to pick you and Amanda's brain. We are having a, Libby Salvucci is the new tax collector, but Lou Girolami was the tax collector, and we're going to have an agreement with Lou in the transition to help her on an as-needed basis. Is that pretty much it, you?
That's correct.
Okay, so what this does is memorialize that agreement. Do we have a motion to do so?
I make a motion.
Do we second?
Second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
That being said, item 6 is something that I have recused myself for the last 20 years. So I'm going to go home, and John, you got to close it out, okay, buddy? You're up.
26 minutes.
There you go. Well, don't go blowing my record.
Well, see if I can break the record. Okay, so we have an item to accept as complete for filing the following application. It's a conditional use application for the Giant Corporation for a liquor license transfer. I think Mr. Donohue earlier in the meeting gave a little bit of a scenario as to why this is happening, and it seems like we're at the mercy of the Liquor Control Board. So, do you have any other comments you'd like to make before we?
No, not really. We'll have a hearing on the 24th. After the hearing, and probably at the following public meeting, which would be March 3rd, council can make a decision. Council will participate in the hearing if they so desire, council members. The public is invited to these hearings. The public is permitted to ask questions, make observations, and provide any testimony if they feel it's appropriate that this application somehow would adversely affect the public health, safety, and welfare of the township. We've done many of these in the past, and these are the rules and regulations of the LCB. And the township has the ability, I guess, to approve it, to deny it, or possibly give a conditional decision, because quite frankly, this giant food store has not even been approved, or the land development plan hasn't been approved, and if the land development plan is not approved, you can't have a giant food store. So it's a little bit about putting the cart before the horse, but that's the LCB.
Thank you. Any comments from members of the board?
Yeah, I guess my only question would be, this starts the conditional use process, correct? As in all the time clocks and everything starts now?
Just for this liquor license, that's it.
But I'm saying if it gets extended and if we have to change deadlines and stuff,
Well,
I don't
for
know, it's
the-
a strange one.
Yeah, there's
this
there's already a conditional use application in along with the land development plan. They've been put on hold pending the outcome of the zoning hearing board decisions. There have been extensions granted. I think the present extension has been granted till March 31st for the land development and the conditional use associated with this. This is a whole separate LCB scenario, yeah.
We're gonna have to, if we need more hearings or whatnot, do we know when their date is that they need this before they lose the license? Or that's
Well,
not-
I guess, yes. My understanding is that within 6 months, I think they purchased it in October. Keep in mind, this is my application, so they're gonna have to explain it when they get here. But I think they purchased it in October. The 6 months would run in April. And that's where we are. And it doesn't, I'm not saying you have to approve it. I'm just saying this is what, they're the ones that are applying for it, and we'll oblige them. We have to hold the hearing, and we'll go from there.
Cool. And then that's when we'll add like hours of operation and our whole thing is at the hearing.
Yep.
'Cause that's not
Well,
what-
if we approve it, we can impose conditions on it. I mean, for instance, Whole Foods did the same thing, Acme did the same thing. There have been a number of different
Wegmans, yeah.
Wegmans, et cetera, purveyors in the township that have done the same, so.
Okay.
All right. Any more comments from the Township Council? Just for the public's information, this board has not seen anything yet on this development, so we can't do anything legislatively until the zoning hearing board finishes their case. This is something unusual that just came up, so we will have a hearing on the transfer of a liquor license, and that will be either approved or denied, and then the zoning hearing board will make a decision on what's in front of them. And after that, we would then have a conditional use hearing for the remainder of the site, and if that's approved, then it would go into land development. But we've been asked from time to comment. This board cannot comment on anything because it has not been in front of us yet. So I just wanted to leave it at that.
And John, I agree with everything you've said, with the proviso that presently they've granted an extension until March the 29th with respect to the land development plan and conditional uses associated with it. If that extension is not, if a further extension is not provided, then the board may have to make a decision on that land development plan, but my assumption is they're going to give us a further extension.
Yeah, I would anticipate that as well. Okay, so I would need a motion and a second for accepting the filing of that the application for the conditional use application. So can somebody give me a motion?
So moved.
We'll get a second.
Second.
Any questions on the motion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, all right, it has it. Okay, moving along, we have adjournment. Can I get a motion for adjournment?
I so moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, meeting over. Thank you for coming out tonight. 7:32.